Hi and welcome to Nutritious Delicious.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Dr. Holly, and today we're making chai hazelnut truffles. So remember how when we made the hazelnut milk, how we set aside the meal and said to keep it for a later date? Well, we've had ours stored in the freezer for about a week, and we just took it out to defrost last night.
So you do need a food processor for this recipe. And basically we're just going to throw all these ingredients, blend it up, and it's ready to go. So we have a cup of that hazelnut meal that we had from the hazelnut milk. We've got a tablespoon of tahini, which is ground sesame seeds, 4 pitted dates, a tablespoon and a half of water, a tablespoon of freshly ground flax seeds, and a quarter
teaspoon of cinnamon and ginger, and then 1/8 of a teaspoon of cardamom.
Yeah, so this is a very warming and spicy kind of dessert. It's not your typical sweet. However, we are using dates, and that does have a different response on your blood sugar than our previous sugar-free dessert series has used. So if you are very sensitive to blood sugar increases, then just be aware of that. We are using plenty of really good fats, and there's also fiber in the ground flax seeds and in the hazelnut meal and in the sesame seeds. So it isn't going to be a typical hike spiking up of your blood sugar, but it is a little bit more than the stevia that we used.
Yeah, dates are used a lot in raw food recipes, and while they do have a lot more vitamins and minerals than processed sugar, they're definitely not a freebie. So we're only using 4 in this recipe. So.
Yeah, and they're very mineral dense, which is good to know.
Yeah.
We're using freshly ground flax seeds. I don't recommend buying flax seeds that are already ground up because they're so readily oxidized.
Yeah.
Light, heat, and oxygen all damage them, so you do want to do it fresh. You can use a coffee grinder. Just make sure you clean it really well so it doesn't taste like coffee.
Yeah, flax is great to cook with as ground up because when you mix it with water, it has a texture similar to eggs. So a lot of truffle recipes called for eggs, but we're using the flax in the water instead to make this dairy-free.
Yeah, just so you have other options. There's a lot of people who are intolerant to eggs. And so, sometimes you can use duck eggs, but some people are just very sensitive, or you want to do something differently. So this gives you an alternative in terms of that texture. So we're just going to grind all of this up in the food processor, and then we're ready to mix.
I'm going to mix it for about a minute. It should be the consistency of cookie dough when you're done. So you may need to add a little bit more water, but start with a tablespoon and a half, and then increase it as you go.
Right. Okay, so this has a nice sticky texture. So it's perfect. We don't have to add any more water to it. So just take out like a tablespoon or so, tablespoon and a half of the mixture.
Yeah.
It smells really good.
Yeah, it smells like a chai is brewing in here. You will get your hands a little dirty with this one. You just want to roll them into little balls about, I'd say, 1 inch in diameter, maybe 1.5 inches. And then it should definitely be, firmly stuck together.
Give it a shake. Make sure nothing flies off.
Don't fling it against the ceiling or anything, but it should be stuck together pretty good.
This would be a really fun recipe to do with a little bit older children. Yeah.
So then, you can just roll it in the sesame seeds, what we're using to cover them. You can really use anything. I've made these before with coconut flakes on the outside, or even cacao powder on the outside,
or almonds. Use whatever you want.
You can spice. You can use a lot of varieties for the spices too. Today we're doing the chai, but and then you want to chill them for a couple hours before you serve them, so they get nice and firm.
And they taste a little better cold as well.
Yeah, and this recipe makes about 10 truffles.
All right. Well, hope that you like them.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. See you next time.